Hey guys, this is just a super quick check-in. I'm just here to again remind everybody about the importance of managing your mental health while all of this stuff is going on. My name is Waffles, and I'm a government whistleblower that has turned into a political commentator that was previously a human rights activist. So I do have experience with like dealing with these kinds of situations, like what is taking place right now. Normally, when we have these kinds of crises, I'm typically dealing with people outside of the country, talking to them about the things that they're going through and trying to help them get through it. I am not happy that we have the same kind of situation taking place in my own home, the United States, right now. And it is challenging to try and report on these things. And as an activist as well, this is a debacle. And I see that there's a lot of us that are kind of like new in this sphere and we're learning how to navigate all of this. And we are reporting on a historical crisis that is taking place in the United States right now. So it's important to remember that. But I also want to put out the reminder of the sensory stimulation from the video content. When I was in psychology class in college, one of the things that we talked about is like when you have media that is like video versus like just reading something, those have different impacts on the brain. And people who do things like moderate websites and, they have to remove like pornographic content or violent acts from the websites that they're moderating, it can have a negative impact on the mental health of the individuals who are managing those platforms. Even if it's just online, it can have a negative psychological impact. And so that's why I just want to kind of like point that out and say something right now. So several weeks ago, Joey Contino had pointed out that he went to college for journalism. I have not gone to college for journalism. Doing political commentary, political commentary, that kind of makes me a journalist in a way. I mean, that is what is classified as in media. And I think some people may be out here, making political commentary and don't even know exactly what we're doing. So, I'm pointing these things out because, I've been to college, but I didn't go to college for journalism. I would assume some of you guys have been to college. Maybe there's some people who haven't been to college that are in the middle of all this. We got a lot going on, and we need as many people as we can get because there's a lot going on. But at the same time, when it comes to like the things that may affect us, it is hard to report on crisis after crisis after crisis and be personally impacted by all of it and have to deal with it in your brain, and I'm having some of those difficulties, and I know I'm not the only one, because we got to keep going, because this is not stopping. We have to deal with it. So how do we keep going without going into burnout and still manage to be effective in our practice? And so that's what I'm trying to look at right now. Right now, at this moment, I don't have the best advice. And it might not be my place to give that advice because we all have different places that we're coming from. But I want to encourage people to keep going, to understand that burnout is real. But we need as many people as we can get to be dealing with a situation like what we're dealing with right now. So some of the things that I'm looking at, I went on YouTube, and I'm looking at mental health for journalists. Another thing that I'm looking at is effective leadership during crisis. So there's things that, I'm not going to go into depth on. But I want to put that reminder out there. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. And if you're feeling stressed and you're getting burnt out right now, it might be a good idea to start looking at some of these things. Because yes, when you're dealing with this stuff day in and day out repeatedly over and over and over, and it just don't stop, it can have a negative impact on your psychological well-being. The past 2 days, I have been focused on cleaning my house and trying to cook some foods to store to get me through tough times. and it just makes me want to quit doing all the journalism stuff. But I've been on this for like 2 years with all the crap that's been going on. I've been really working hard on my platform, and I'm not just gonna quit because I just got robbed by the government. So, there's that. Quitting is not an option for me. Um, but I want to put that reminder out there that if you're getting to that point where you're starting to feel burnout, this is some stuff that might be able to help us. Look on the computer because there are professionals out there that may have worthy advice. And remember and understand that witnessing these things, even if it's on a screen, is not good for your mental health. And we're also trying to work with our whole crowds of people that we're hanging out with in the middle of all this to get people going in the right direction and keep people safe and all of that. So, there's some things to look at. Mental health for journalists and, leadership during a crisis, navigating through crisis, effective leadership through crisis. I'm going to go. There's just a real brief PSA that I wanted to put out there because I see that I'm not the only one that is getting burnout. And we need to look out for each other. So I know that we've already had like a handful of people putting those PSAs out there, but there is resources out here. And some of us may need different resources than others. Like, some of us have people to talk to, others don't. So that's just a reminder. I'm gonna go. Y'all have a good day. Take care. Be safe. And I will see you around.